as I come on here this evening. I will start out by saying that in my observations of the places where I go, it seems that coffee shops get busier in the daytime and in the nighttime during winter months. So that is just one of the reasons why it's kind of become less of a thing for me to go out these places at night and day just to hang out and relax and just kind of let the people who are there to have their good times have theirs and kind of take care of things as they need to be. Don't know why I'm putting that mask on. Think I don't need it right now. But I do also want to say that I wanted to come on today to share little demonstrations concerning how some of these bears are carved. There's some of them for whom you can probably already see I've kind of sanded out the blanks in the places where they go together, because one smooth end has to meet another smooth end, or they can be rough sanded, but I tell you, as long as they're both without all the bumps and saw marks, they will fit together. And that is all we need it to be. Kind of like the way I did with these cherry ones as well. Kind of sanded the areas between where the carving needs to be and where the pieces need to join. That's kind of the way that one's going to work. And got a little walnut as well here. So I'm going to demonstrate today how I use these bear patterns, which, like the other bear you've seen, they were made from a variation that I made of another bear pattern that was originally out of a book. And so I will tell you all, here's the original drawing I made of them, where I sort of like put a little notes in there just to remind myself what the measurements should be, how thick the blanks should be that they are to be sawn from. And what I'm going to show today is the way that I take these patterns and trace them onto each side of the wood. You can kind of see here, I've kind of made them so that they are on pieces where the grain almost goes together. You can see on this one that the grain is kind of curved and straightened out on here, but the grains from the outside and in this part go practically the same direction. So that will make it good enough just to be able to make the bear from. And if I can find, yes, I tell you, this is, well, it's not the pencil I had a sharper one, but I guess this one will do for now. And this is what I do, is take this side, and on the blank that is to face the outside from this direction, and kind of make it so that the grain here matches the butt here. So try to measure it out accordingly. There is a little knot in the wood right here. Try to avoid that. But this is how I go about making it. We will draw around the edge here, around the legs and the feet and the tail, and you will note after this there is something else I'm going to show you, similar to what I did with the previous yoga bear pattern. But I'll tell you what, there's a place we've missed here. we're going to go back and take care of that. Thankfully we did. I'd like to show you all how I got this to turn out. Now on this part here, this is kind of like where the forearm and the hand come out. So we're going to separate this. We're going to kind of take this back a little bit and draw the lines where they will be in between. First of all, I've got to get this kind of straightened out right on the lines where it needs to be, and try to draw a line here just to kind of make the thing go around and around and around. And I tell y'all, like, draw this little thing here for its arm, and I tell you, the little teddy bear, it just kind of comes out straight, worldly, and it'll just come out with a little better perfection here. We're going to kind of make another one here. We're going to draw the same lines from the inside of the wood. This time I have reversed it to the other side so that it can make out the other side of the wood. So we're going to draw the lines from the other side of the pattern here, kind of make the lines so they'll come out right and perfect and about the way they need to be. And just as we did with the last time around, we're going to kind of take back this little hand and arm and kind of draw the lines around that to make better lines in here. Of course, they didn't come out the best they could, so we are going to draw an extra little lines here just to kind of round them off and make them so they'll be like they need to be. And this is how we get it to come out now. I'm going to do the same thing with this one, and probably even talk to you all about some random stuff while I'm doing it. Today was the day when we've just had something happen at work that we've had happen all the time. A little leakage in the garbage disposal where something gets a little wrong with the plumbing and the pipes and makes it kind of leak out, overflow in the floor, and make a little too much of a mess for us to clean up. And I mean, I tell you, I just was already prepared for it. I knew it was going to happen today somehow. Because, I mean, today it was a Monday. We were going back into work, and of course it had already happened on the last Friday. We went into work before we had our holiday break all last week, and then next thing you know, there's been a time before when, like, whenever that happened on a Friday about the time we were leaving, it would happen again on the Monday we came back in. So I was pretty much prepared for that to be the case. So it was kind of a thing where that's kind of what little judgment I'm using. You know, it's never pleasant to have it happen. Never pleasant to have it making the smell it does in the place or anything else, but it just kind of does that and gets kind of a little nasty here and there. But we kind of take care of those things as they come, and we clean them up as they need to be done, and that's how it all goes a long way to taking care of the things we need to do. So this is one where, as you see, I've already drawn these lines here. Probably will And I guess I'd say, yes, we did it the way it needed to be done. So thankfully, we've gotten all this part taken care of now. I'm going to try to do it on the pieces of walnut now. On these, I forgot to sand the outer edges, so we're going to kind of trace it on the best we can from the outer edge, even being as rough as it might be. So we got little things to take care of here, and we're going to get them all done, get them all controlled, get them all like they need to be, and this little world of peace we're in, it'll all shine bright for us. It'll all make a better difference for us in the longer run. Sometimes I think too, that there's little times in life when we just kind of have to move on about things, not obsess over things, not wonder why things get to be the way they get to be. Sometimes a little silliness here and there don't hurt us, but I will say that for a little while, for a little moment, I've been having to shut down my social media again because sometimes it just gets to the point where I just start carrying on too much when I get the kind of stressed I get, especially over holiday seasons and especially the way it's been over this one. And I'm just kind of hearing in the news about the Omicron variant in COVID. So that's what we're dealing with right now. It's not in the United States yet, but they say it's already been in Canada, and there's just little places in the world where these different variants start out, where the different variants come from. People give different names to them at different times, and there's been people who kind of use that term China virus to refer to the original COVID virus. I mean, I never liked that. I never appreciated hearing that. And so, it just kind of is one of those things where there's just a little arrogance in this world. People like to give kind of names to things that might be an insult to some people. And sometimes, we hear things, and there's been things like as a kid, I used to think things were funny and cute. I mean, when I was a kid on the spectrum, I used to think that racial slurs were funny and cute. I mean, in reality, they just are not. So it's just one of those things where we just have so much to watch out for in this world, so much to be careful about, and to watch what we say, watch what we call people, be careful with our language and all, because sometimes, just sometimes, there's people we might offend if we don't use enough caution. So we all got to really watch out for each other and take care of each other. Try to see from each other's points of view and try to help each other and understand us. It's like one thing that the president's been saying, and like my governor's been saying, it is a time to be concerned, but not a time to panic. So I'm thankful for those words, because I could be panicking otherwise. You know, sometimes, just sometimes, there's things we probably wish would stop. We wish things would stop and we could kind of get things under control and live in a better world where diseases and viruses don't really take control over things. The times we see, the times we know, the times we give. I'm thinking that with all this little conversation here, it's probably kind of messing my pieces up a little bit, but I seem to be able to manage it pretty well. it goes longer ways like this, taking care of all the things that are necessary to our needs. Got a little sip here. It's been getting cold in the basement, so I've been kind of turning on the little gas heater thing. Try to keep it warm down here. But I will also say that we've got one little piece of pattern to draw out here. We're going to tell you a little bit more as we go. And thankfully, I've already demonstrated some stuff to you all. Some stuff as it needs to be. I'm going to show you all these as soon as I get finished drawing them out, but they're going to come out fine. They're going to come out all good and great, and I'd say that for all the success we make in life, we're going to make our world shine so brighter. We've got to kind of get this bear in here and make it have a little brighter light. So I think I have already gotten the pattern traced on the way it needs to be, taking care of little things just as they need to be. I think sometimes it gets to the point where things don't come out the best they can be, so I sort of like have these lines to draw on things, and I'm getting this all together as it just needs to be. And finally I got the whole bear drawn out here, got one drawn out on this side as well, facing the other direction, and got one on here and got one on here. Now, there's probably going to be a little more to show, and to remind you all what that bear looks like when it's done, it looks about like this one, kind of like this in that little yoga pose that you see it in. And I'd like to tell you all a little bit more. I am kind of tired today from having had a long week of carving last week and a long day of work today, but I tell you, I think I'm going to end this video and maybe take myself a little break, maybe get back on here and record another one before the night is over. Thankfully, we will kind of get things taken care of here. If I don't do it tonight, I will more than likely do it tomorrow. I do want to show you where I know you've already seen my video of how I do the wildcats, but here are some other little wildcat faces I've drawn out. Those out of Kentucky coffee tree, these ones out of walnut, and I have a couple that I recently cut out of cherry. I don't think I know where they are right at the moment, and it would be kind of hard to walk away from this shop or walk away from this video just long enough to pick them up and show them. And I had some that I made out of redwood as well. Same story about, but now that I think of it, they're over here. You can see where this cherry has a little cut in it where it was left over from the cutting out of horses. And then there's also this other piece of cherry that was like it, which I used to do the same thing. Have a couple pieces of redwood here. That was 2 pieces of redwood in the shape and thickness they are in have been cut out practically since the beginning of the year, or the last time I made any redwood wildcats, but we've got those pieces there ready, and we're probably going to make some more fairly soon, maybe after the holidays, get that done. And I will say that this week I've got a busy week ahead because I have a craft show in Lancaster on Saturday. So I just wanted to share all that with you and want to say have a blessed evening.